Jeez Louise, what is on my phone?
Anika Maxwell. Embarrassing.
Hello, how's it going? My name's Captain, and I wanted to talk about something that I've been waiting on talking about, but fuck it, we here. It's already done. Drake, Aubrey Graham, why are you doing this? Why did you do this? We all remember in 2021, 2020, beef, it went crazy. Everybody was sitting there biting their nails, watching every single time that these two juggernauts was fighting. And again, I'm talking about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. When they had their beef, when it was static, it was the most entertaining thing ever. This also happened during my birthday time, so every single day I just wake up like, oh my god, it's my birthday, and it would just be beef happening. So I was just like, bro, I have so much music to listen to and things to theorize about. And when the beef ended and Drake put out his last track and he said, you know what, it's gonna be round two, we going crazy. Instead of making a diss on Kendrick or continuing the beef, he decided to lawyer up. Yes, instead of, rapping and getting to it and all this, he decided to lawyer up and talk about Kendrick, not on the songs, but in the lawsuit, claiming that, Kendrick was defamation. He called him a pedo, and this is a crazy thing to say, and I completely understand why Drake would take this action. But at the same time, we are in hip hop. A lot of the times when you are in hip hop and we are saying things and people are getting in beef, a lot of these things are not true. But if you believe Kendrick or not, it doesn't matter, because Drake is still Drake. He is gonna be fine, and he was going to be fine if he just buckled down, either just took his L's or just kept it pushing. And Drake is getting a lot of slack because he not only decided to try to silence Kendrick multiple times, he also tried to stump on a lot of his releases. And again, Kendrick has had so much success that he hasn't been able to do anything his usual spill, because again, unlike him having static with Pusha T, Kendrick is also one of the biggest artists, if not the biggest artist of this year. And again, there's no reason for UMG, the record label that owns Drake music and Kendrick, to get in the middle of this, because they have nothing but millions to gain. And again, when Drake put out this lawsuit against his own label, I knew it was downhill from here. The allegations was that, his team, Kendrick Lamar's team, or somebody inside UMG, used bots to get Not Like Us to the #1 charts. And if you know anything about the moment or that time in history, in hip hop history, that song was literally everywhere. And as a person who is from Cali, that song was getting played in every function, in every bar, in every whatever. That song was inescapable. You was hearing A minor at down to a quinceañera to a funeral. It was fucking insane. And I am not saying that artists are not using bots to inflate, numbers and all this, because God knows that Drake and Travis and probably Kendrick, all these people are probably benefiting from getting numbers juiced up from a lot of payola or whatever it is. But it is insane to me that one of the biggest songs and one of the biggest moments in history was being questioned of getting bots. Now, why am I talking about this whole thing in general? Well, Drake, after all this work, after all this trying to make Kendrick Lamar's life and the UMG label to spend money and put out records and all this, he has dropped the case. His ace in the hole is gone. And this is very sad. This is fucking horrible. Like, what are we doing at this point? Drake, Aubrey, your music hasn't been hitting lately. His numbers hasn't been going crazy. During this beef, Kendrick was able to have multiple songs chart higher than him. And I think that a lot of the times his ego is just being hurt because Kendrick is able to do a lot of the things that Drake hasn't been able to do. Despite Drake being a way larger numbers guy and a way larger artist, he still has that hurt, that pain that a lot of people weren't on his side during the beef. And again, it is hard for a lot of people to look at Drake as the underdog when it comes to this beef because you have been dominant for the past 10, 20 years of your career. There is no way Kendrick Lamar it was the underdog in this situation. I mean, wasn't the underdog in this situation. You had everything under your control and you still fumbled. And it's okay. But it is embarrassing to not only not talk about the situation, but also almost have a full album that is coming out. Iceman is a lot of his songs are just talking about how much of a victim he is, how everybody wanted him to fail, all this extra stuff, and him being a drama queen, and him trying to bring back this "oh my god, I'm the underdog, y'all need to help me out" situation, while also being one of the biggest artists in the world. It just doesn't work, Aubrey. It doesn't work. You're not the guy. You're not him anymore, bro. Back in the day, you had the argument of, "Hey man, I'm just the lover boy who raps and sings and I'm not that big, man. I'm the underdog." And I get it. That shtick was working for a very long time. But nowadays, again, you are the artist. You are the biggest artist in general. I cannot sit here and act like you're the person who's the victim, especially not after you burn bridges with multiple people, have beef with multiple people, have been doing sly and secret disses to multiple artists, and now is scared that people are not necessarily seeing you in their favor. And again, a lot of people that are fans of Drake are not necessarily hip hop heads, and that is okay. Again, although Drake looks crazy in the eyes of people who are way too into the beef, like how I am and a lot of other people are, a lot of the people who are just casual listeners of music don't care because Drake has dropped music that has done amazingly. His music with freaking PNB Rock, Party Next Door, and him did really well. Some sexy songs it did good, and again, after the beef, he still is able to listen. He's going to be able to go number one with this whole spill, with this whole thing, but it just feels so awkward seeing him just crumble. And not in the sense of, oh, he's crumbling financially or he's crumbling because of this, that, and the third. It's just sad to see Drake in this situation where he feels like he needs to be the guy that is the problem. He is the problem at the end of the day. Kendrick is selling out arenas. He hasn't been paying attention to Drake whatsoever, and I'm sure he's sitting there laughing his ass off seeing people hate on Drake and get all this slack. And again, even the people that is closest to him, the dick riders like academics, have to agree and see like, hey, this is crazy. And again, while he was going through this whole, lawyering up, being this crazy guy, hood guy, while also spitting the most hood shit you can ever hear in music, people are now questioning if Drake has been using bots.
Luke, don't start because you know where I'm going to go.
No, there's a lot of bots now.
Talk about bots?
Yeah, it was bots.
We want to talk about bots?
No,
we
whack.
Talk about when him and Ye was going. When him and Ye was going head to head, Drake bought 500,000 bots. Everybody know that.
That's cap.
The nigga that's
cap.
in jail.
That's cap.
You know what I'm talking about.
That's cap.
You know what I'm talking about.
Whack. Stop it. No. Whack.
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 Drake brought 500,000 bots, nigga.
Now, I ain't gonna sit here and act like, Drake actually did this. Again, this is all speculation. Nobody has proof about anything. I am going to say this, but I also want to articulate that he is the biggest artist ever. And we are very knowing that people are using bots to inflate numbers. This has been a thing for multiple years. This has been a thing for multiple centuries. I am not going to say that Drake is using bots or have been using bots in the past. But I am not going to sit here and act like Drake numbers is all genuinely him. That is all I'm going to say. I'm going to say that if Drake was able to have crazy numbers by himself, then why would Drake decide to sell pretty much all of his rights to UMG? Because if he's able to sell million sales first week, 100K, 300K, all this stuff, then what is the purpose of him staying with a label? Now again, this was during the time where they was having the beef, so I completely understand why people was just throwing bot allegations to everybody. But come on, bro, think. We not gonna sit here and act like everybody was using, but like Drake, one of the biggest artists in general, wasn't using bots at some point in his career. Stop it. All this to say that, hey man, a lot of the times we don't know what's really happening in the eyes of a lot of these bigger artists. And only thing I'm gonna say is you form your own opinion. Do you feel like Drake was right in the lawsuit? Obviously, if you're a hip hop person, though, if you're a person who's just regular, then probably yeah, you might do a defamation thing on him. I completely understand. But again, for the spirit of hip hop, for the spirit of everything that hip hop represents, it was the worst idea to do this. And there were multiple other ways that Drake could have went about this whole situation. But yeah, I am going to leave it at that. Life is strange. This has been your boy Captain. Peace out.